Let's go to Steve Kornacki, who joins us at the big board with a look at politics, at Democrats trending in the wrong direction, especially with Hispanic voters. As Axios points out, quote, Democrats had hoped this might be a phenomenon specific to the Trump era, but new polling shows it accelerating, worrying party strategists about the top of the ticket in 2024. So, Steve, what are you seeing in the numbers?
Yeah, Mika, look, it was a question that was raised by those 2020 election results where we saw significant movement away from the Democrats toward Republicans among Hispanic voters. The immediate question is it still continuing in 2022? The longer term question is 24 and beyond. So let's take a look at the numbers to put this in some perspective. Here's the trajectory of what it's looked like among Hispanic voters. If you go back to Trump versus Clinton in 2016, Hillary Clinton won among Hispanic voters by almost 40 points. Trump got 28% of the Hispanic vote. For Republicans in the Trump midterm, the 28 midterm, things got even worse. This is the Hispanic vote in the 28 midterms. The Democratic margin there swells to nearly 50 points. Remember, Democrats did better among virtually every group in the 28 midterms than in the 2016 election. But this is where the story then took a twist. Between 18 and 20, between that midterm and Trump's reelection campaign, this is the shift we saw among Hispanic voters. Look at that 47-point midterm margin for Democrats came all the way down to 21 points. Trump's share of the Hispanic vote nearly reaching 40%. This is the Pew validated voter study. This is sort of the gold standard post-election study. And so the question that raised is, was that a one-time phenomenon or is it continuing? So what we've done here is we've taken a look at all of the publicly available polling since March 1st on the generic ballot question, the question of, do you want to vote for the Democrats? Do you want to vote for the Republicans in this year's midterm elections? Here's what we're finding when we average together all of the Hispanic vote from those polls. We're finding what looks like a continuation of that trend, at least in the polling right now. The Democratic margin on average 16 points in the polling we've been seeing since March 1st. So what has been driving this among Hispanic voters? Well, one thing that we saw between 18 and 20, again, overall, you see this dramatic shift away from the Democrats. It was particularly pronounced. This is something we see with white voters, too. We've talked about an education divide. Hispanic voters without a college degree. This is what that demographic looked like in 2018. Democrats won it by 44 points. In the 2020 election, among Hispanic voters without a degree, Trump broke 40%. The Biden margin was down to just 14%, a 30-point swing right there. That was the biggest shift you saw within the Hispanic vote. There was that education divide. Hispanic voters, no degree. In some ways, that mirrors a trend we've been seeing. We talk so much about white voters with no degree, how they've been trending so strongly towards Republicans. You see a trend in the Republican direction among Hispanic voters without degrees. What does it mean for 2022? Take a look here. This is just the Hispanic population states with the largest Hispanic populations. One thing that I would note here is Nevada, where there's a hot Senate race this year. Democrats trying to hang on. The Hispanic population, 29%. But of all these states you see listed here, Nevada has the highest concentration of Hispanic voters without degrees. So that most Republican-friendly portion of the Hispanic electorate, most pronounced in Nevada. You take a look here. So where are key Senate races this year? I mentioned Nevada. You have big Hispanic population, obviously, in Arizona, in Colorado. This could also extend to the House. It was the Rio Grande Valley of Texas, down in South Texas, where we saw some of the biggest shifts anywhere in the country in 2020 from the Democrats towards the Republicans among Hispanic voters, talking 30, 40, 50-point shifts in some of those counties down there. So the question out of 2020 was it just Trump's reelection? The early polling we're seeing in 2022 suggests this is very much a story for this midterm. And again, it's something we've been talking about for decades. If that Hispanic vote comes up for grabs between the two parties, it's a huge shift potentially in American politics.
Yeah, Steve, and one that would potentially be an ominous sign for Democrats who have been banking on that vote for so long. I want to get your sense of whether what you're seeing in polls there about the issue among Latino immigrants about immigration, which is sort of a polarizing topic there, and one that's about to become to the forefront of the political discourse this summer. A lot of experts believe with the situation at the southern border coming under increased scrutiny.
Yeah, so interesting. It's the Biden administration's decision to roll back Title 42, the Trump administration's enforcement there on the border. There is some polling on that basically shows Hispanic voters from Morning Consult that basically shows Hispanic voters split on that. But when I mentioned Texas, let me just show you the border area in Texas in 2020, because I think this is where I say it was the most dramatic. Now, Trump won the state, obviously, and we talked so much in Texas in 2020 about the suburbs of Dallas, the suburbs of Houston, college-educated professionals, a lot of white voters in many cases trending towards the Democrats. What kept Trump with a healthy margin in Texas was South Texas. Let me show you a few examples right on the border. We're looking at counties here that are like 95% Hispanic. This is Starr County. It's not that big, but this is representative of what you were seeing in South Texas and the Rio Grande Valley. Joe Biden won Starr County by 5 points. Now, let me show you what this same county looked like in 2016. Hillary Clinton won it by 61. This was a 56-point shift right on the U.S.-Mexico border in one of the most heavily Hispanic counties in the United States of America, a 56-point shift from the Democrats in Trump's direction. Obviously, Trump didn't carry the county, but he got it within 5. And it's Starr County is not an outlier down there. We saw his similar movement here. This went from 40 to 17, just going right through the border here. Here's Clinton won by 33. Trump took it by 5. This was the story in the border region of Texas. These are voters who deal with those questions of migrant crossings, of immigration every day. Heavily Hispanic electorate, biggest movement in the country away from the Democrats.
All right, NBC News national political correspondent Steve Kornacki, thank you very much for that update. And